When invited to the system, you will receive an activation email as displayed here. Simply click on Register Now in the lower right hand corner to begin. Once you click the link in your email, you will be then taken to this screen where you need to complete your first name, surname, email address, company name, set up your password, upload an optional avatar image, or even document some information about yourself in a bio. Once this is completed, you can click Register to complete your registration. This will then allow you to select the account you're going to access. In this case, we're going to select the Pentadel Project Management account, and it will take you into the system. Here on the left hand bar, we can see the projects that we have been given access to. Here we have been given access to the Pentadel Training Project. If we click here, the system will open the folder structure up, and we can see the folders that we have been given permission to see. Here you can see we've been given permission to a construction folder, but we're interested specifically into this tender folder here, which has got a series of subfolders. We are Real Steel here, and we've been given access to the tender request folder and the tender response folder. The response folder will be where we would submit our tender documentation, and the request folder is where we can see relevant project information supplied to us for review. In this case, we have a series of drawings, and we can just talk you through the files table here. We have the file name that goes most of the way across this top bar here. We have a title for the document. We have, or the drawing, we have a number here, or date rather. The date is stating of the most recent upload or update. We have the status, all three of these files have been accepted, and we have a revision number here showing 1 for each of these. There is a series of other features available to us on the right hand side, and just to highlight a few, we can see there is a download icon here that will allow us to download the document. We can comment on the document should we wish to. We have a rich text box here where we could pop a comment in. We can then open up here and decide who we want to notify of that comment. Hit send, and they will now receive an email notification about the comment that we have just put on the system. We could watch a document to see if there's any uploads or updates that relate specifically to this document, and we'll then get a notification every time something happens to it. And we could even look at the audit history of this document and see what has happened since its original upload to this folder. You'll also see these are PDF files, and with the PDF file we have the ability to view the document in the inline browser. So if we click the palette icon or just the file name itself, the system will then load the file up, and we can see the detail of the drawing directly from the browser. We can zoom in and out if we wish to get an overall view of that, and we also have the ability to toggle down the list of drawings from the previous screen. We could zoom in here and inspect an element in more detail. We could mark that up. For example, we could look at this stairwell here. We can then choose the colour of the markup. Put rich text into this element here, and that is then edited not onto the drawing but saved as an overlay that can be viewed within the browser. We've got the opportunity to do arrows, clouds, transparent boxes, and dimension queries. Just to add another one here, we'll point to this balcony. Could pick another colour out, for example. And the markup appears. And if we go to our annotations bar to the right hand side, we'll see the annotations that have been made by myself as Mike Jones. Myself or others could actually make notes against my annotations, and once I've made the annotations I'm happy with, I could then send a message to users in the system. In this case I'll send one to Stephen. Hitting send. The user now will receive an email notification linking directly back into this document where they can view the markup that has been entered on it. To return back to a previous screen, simply hit the grey button at the top and it takes you directly back into the folder. We're now going to jump ahead in the process now and demonstrate how to upload files to the system. We're going to skip past tender and go straight to the construction JCT approval. So going through here, we can see in the construction folder that we've got a WP3 structural steel folder we've been given access to. We are Real Steel. And if we open this up here, we can see that there is an O&M folder where eventually we'll upload our O&M guide. And then we also have a trade contractor design drawings folder where we'll be submitting our drawings for review from the Pentadel team. So if I click this folder now, you'll see that we get a big green button at the top. Click this big green button. We have the ability to either drag files into this drop zone, or we can click and browse. These files then will load up into the load screen below. What you will notice here is there is an error that appears initially, and this is due to the fact that we're assuming that subcontractors won't be using the naming convention that Pentadel will. So simply need to come here to the top file type here and select subcontractor and select, and essentially all the red will go away and you can see that your files are now ready to upload. What you can also do when you're in this screen is you can decide if you want to send some notifications. So if we go ahead here now to the grey button to the right hand side, we have set up notifications, and you can then see that the system automatically structures these. So it titles with the account, who we're going to upload, who's doing the upload, and which folder with the breadcrumb down to where that file is in the system. You have a rich notification box to document some information, and then you can decide who you wish to notify. Simply selecting here, saving the notifications, and clicking upload. The files will then be uploaded to the system, and the recipient you have selected receives an email notification. Here you can see the files have been uploaded to the folder, and the system has automatically triggered the JCT workflow, which will have automatically notified the designated individual in Pentadel to review the submitted drawings, as indicated here when we can see that this has been marked. And this is simply illustrating to yourselves that the file is in its current review stage. Just to illustrate what the options are for the Pentadel team when reviewing your drawing, they have the file that's uploaded here and you can see the document attached. They'll be able to view this, and then essentially have three options. They can either status A it and accept the drawing, status B accept pending changes, or status C reject the drawing. And we'll illustrate in the next screen what will happen if either of these options have been selected. Here you can see a notification email that we will receive once our drawing has been accepted. The notification here refers specifically to the drawing that was accepted, and it tells us who has accepted it. We need to take no further action. Alternatively, in this notification we can see that this file has been rejected and we have been instructed to review, revise and resubmit against the drawing. So we simply click the icon and go back into the system. We can now see that our files have now had status changes. The top two have been approved, and as the previous email indicated, we have had one rejection. To review the details of the markup against the file and the reasons for rejection, click the palette icon. This will open the drawing up and we can see the various markups that have been made against it. Taking note of that information, we'll then be able to review the drawing and reissue it. We're now ready to reissue the drawing. We simply go to the uploads file here, select the new revision, which I previously prepared, and the system's Smart Add tool now will kick in. The Smart Add tool reviews the names of the files in the system and tries to match them with ones that are being uploaded. So we can see here that we had revision 1 here, and we're now uploading it to revision 2. The system's given us a 95% match here. We select the file we wish to match. We also have the ability to use notification should we wish. In this case we'll just hit upload. As the file is uploaded to the system, the revision is matched and the most recent revision is displayed at the top. Here you can see that the previously rejected drawing has now had its status changed to non-set. The revision is incremented to 2 and the document has re-entered the workflow for the Pentadel team to review when ready.